I think most people would agree that accountability and answerability are everything in government. As you've heard me say many times, I can't think of a problem that our nation faces where the architect of that problem has not been government itself. Every other day, hard-working Australians who are taxed to the eyeballs are angry about the way taxpayers' money is spent, and they feel they have no voice, if I could use a bastardised word. Well, if we're talking about accountability, why haven't the federal opposition sought answers as to how Brittany Higgins received a payout of reportedly $3 million? It's taxpayers' money, no matter the amount. I've said before, we should know how much, what for, how this was calculated, and what scrutiny was applied to the process. The little bit we've been told says it was the subject of mediation, but that mediation lasted less than a day. Who was involved in the mediation? Who signed off on such a massive amount with obviously little discussion? Mediation is a process in which the pros and cons of a case are argued and debated. Taxpayers would think of 1,000 cons, that is, reasons against such a multi-million-dollar payment being made. If this is the way government operates, something drastically needs to be done. The cavalier way the taxpayers' money is shelled out is an absolute insult to the battlers in Struggle Street who would never see these amounts of money in a lifetime. How do you qualify for them? Another former coalition staffer, Rochelle Miller, reportedly got $650,000 in a settlement. We were told for hurt, distress and humiliation. Allegedly, that she suffered while working for former ministers, Liberal ministers Alan Tudge and Michaelia Cash. Now, I don't know Tudge all that well. I know Michaelia Cash. It is impossible for me, as a taxpayer, to believe that anyone would be hurt or humiliated in the workplace by Michaelia Cash. I understand no admission of liability was made by the government. So what the hell's going on here? This is another Liberal media staffer who worked for Ministers Tudge and Cash between a couple of years, 2016 and 2018, nothing, 5 minutes. She apparently filed a complaint with the Department of Finance alleging bullying, harassment and discrimination at work. For part of the time she worked for Alan Tudge, she was having an affair with him. And yet now a deed of release from the Finance Department, which has the oversight of all of this, said she would be paid $650,000, quote, in respect of her damage and loss which occurred during the employment but prior to the termination of the employment and in no way connected to the termination of the employment, unquote. What the hell does that mumbo-jumbo mean? And who determines this stuff? $3 million allegedly to Brittany Higgins, and now to this Rochelle Miller, $10,000 in respect of past loss of earning capacity, $100,000 in respect of future earning capacity, that is, if anyone would want to employ her, $28,000 as reimbursement for past medical and like expenses, $28,000, $62,000 for future medical expenses, $62,000, $300,000 for hurt, distress, humiliation, dislocation of life, loss of professional standing and impairment of personal dignity, and $150,000 for reimbursement of her legal costs. This person worked for two ministers for 5 minutes between 2016 and 2018, and during part of the time was having an affair with one of them, and she comes out the other end with $650,000 uncontested dollars. That's what someone on the median wage, that's the wage right in the middle of those earning above it, those earning below it. This would take someone on the median wage 10 years to earn, and there's no debate. What the hell is going on in public administration in this country?